Well, it looks like the rumors may be true. I cannot believe this. This was not on my bingo card for this franchise. This is the literal meme of you could not live with your own failure. So where did it bring you? Back to me. Micheal Explosion Bay may be coming back to Transformers, and I think that is the funniest thing of all time. Because the thing is this. I think Transformers desperately needs Micheal Bay to come back, because after Transformers 1, that is the film that got me into Transformers itself in the franchise alone, and I think it is a fantastic movie, like one of the greatest Transformers, like next to the original 86 movie. I think it is amazing both in storytelling, animation, character, like dynamics. It's amazing. But the thing is this, I think there's something that a lot of Transformers fans don't realize when it comes to the general public, is that there are not enough of us out there to make people care about Transformers to the level of degree that I think a lot of fans want the casual audience to. It's the same thing for Marvel and DC, to where a lot of people don't really care about the source material. All general audience members want is just big box office explosions and stuff. Because I think Pointless Hub made this pretty clear in his Transformers 1 video, is the fact that as much as people do, enjoy, like giant robots, transforming and all that stuff, it's not like they care about like the lore or like the franchise itself. They just care about the spectacle of it.
Most of the people that came to see the Transformer movies in theaters just wanted to see a dumb summer movie with explosions. People haven't left the franchise because of Micheal Bay. They were just never into it.
And to that degree, I'm fine with. That's perfectly fine. Hell, I think, it's a great thing that you could just enjoy something and, and you don't have to deep dive into it. But people like me, fans of the franchise, are just hardwired to care about it more. We see that there's more to it than meets the eye.
You.
Okay.
Because the thing is this, if you go to a casual person, they're not going to know that Soundwave was a cassette deck back in 84. Like your general middle-aged 40, 50-year-old dad isn't going to know that Sideswipe was red from 84. Hell, I think that most people probably even forgot that Sideswipe was even in the original Micheal Bay movies. Because Micheal Bay, as much as I think he only has 2, possibly 3 good Transformers movies under his belt, he knows how to bring in audience members. He knows how to bring in the big bucks. And I know, after 3, that's very questionable. But if a movie like Age of Extinction, which is literal garbage, actual trash, can make over $1 billion, I think that says a lot to what general audience members need and want. Because I think a lot of people don't get this when it comes to making movies, is that sometimes the general audience are just stupid. And that's not even me going oh man, I'm a cinephile, I know what's better. No, I really don't. I think that Cars 2 is one of the funniest movies of all time, and you could fight me otherwise. But the point is this, is the fact that with some audience members, they don't care if they're getting a good product or if they're watching a deep emotional movie that has a great message. Sometimes they just want to watch dinosaurs on screen. Sometimes they just want to watch Lilo and Stitch come back in action style. Sometimes they want to watch Chicken Jockey. And the point is, what I'm trying to say here is the fact that unlike Transformers 1 and stuff like that, people aren't going to care if you have a deep emotional movie. And the fact that it's animated, a lot of older folks, a lot of people are going to go I don't want to watch this kids movie. I don't want to know what this thing is. But if they see CGI Optimus Prime and Shia LaBeouf on screen, they're going to give them all the cash you have. And I will say this, I feel really bad, because Transformers 1 is what brought me into, Transformers itself. I have a whole collection now of G1 figures, because after that I watched the G1 cartoon, I watched all the movies, I played the War for Cybertron games, now playing Devastation. I think after Micheal Bay left, I think there was a genuine hole like that needed to be filled that just kind of wasn't. I mean, it was, but to some degree, it's just something that some people just didn't like understand or liked, because the general consensus is that after the last night, I think Transformers got a bad rap in terms of the casual audience going, because the first original 3 films are good. When I mean good, I mean the first one's good. 2 and 3 are debatable. Definitely not 2. That's just bad.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
But after Age of Extinction and The Last Night, that really killed the audience, because even though they paid to go see those movies, like I said, Age of Extinction made over $1 billion, I really think that it kind of tainted the franchise to this day even, because Bumblebee, whenever that came out the year after, was a moderate success. We then had 5 years later Rise of the Beast, and I think the problem with that movie is a lot of things, really. One, Rise of the Beast, I think they only showed up for 10 minutes, but the point is that this Nightverse, or whatever they called it, because it's not called that anymore if they reboot this, I'm pretty sure they will, is the fact that there was no direction going for this, because as you may or might not know, Bumblebee was supposed to be a prequel for the Bayverse films, but after the failure that was The Last Night, they basically course corrected and made that its own thing. That's why they have their all new G1 designs and all this, like new stuff technically, but they still wanted to be affiliated with the Bayverse because they didn't have Megatron because he was supposed to be on ice in '07. Bumblebee still talks on the radio, yada yada. And, you could see that they're trying to make their own path, but they're still kind of, worried about, still being associated with those prior movies. And then we get Rise of the Beast, which I think kind of showed troubles of what they just didn't, they didn't know what to do. Because it is a part of their own separate universe coming off of Bumblebee, but it basically is just Micheal Bay, but without Micheal Bay. It's like having non-alcoholic beer. It's like at that point, just have the drink.
Don't do drugs.
They just did so much, because I like Bumblebee because that was its own thing. It was separate from all these big action adventures, and it was just a girl and a robot. That's it. But then we get Rise of the Beast, and then we have the Maximals, which weren't properly used in the movie, and then we have Unicron, and I'm like, why the fuck are we having Unicron in the second of these films? It doesn't make sense. And it's just so much to where it's like Micheal Bay, but it's not Micheal Bay. And along with that, I just think it came out during the wrong time, because one, I think it should have came out a couple of years earlier to still ride off the high of Bumblebee's success, along with 2023, being Barbenheimer season. So yeah, there. And I think just overall, Micheal Bay will give a lot of nostalgia for the franchise that is really needed, because I know a lot of, millennials and, people growing up with those films are gonna go yeah, he's back, Micheal Bay, yoo-hoo, all that stuff. And I know with rose-tinted glasses, people will say these films are, it was peak Hollywood, it's not like how they do them today, like these Marvel movies. To some degree, I think you are right. I think those had a lot of charm for back in their day, as much as they devolved and didn't really even seem like the original cartoon or Transformers itself. I think there is still a lot of charm and a lot of love put into those, especially with the cast, the crew, even Micheal Bay himself. The writers, God bless them. But honestly, I think Micheal Bay coming back can really help save the franchise. It's what the franchise needs right now. They need someone that knows the franchise, someone that knows how to get butts in seats, make money. And even if it's a bad movie, it will gain the notoriety in both the general going audience and will hopefully span off other films and other series. Because as much as people want to rag on the Bayverse movies, people that are hardcore fans, even myself, I don't think they're perfect. I think at some points they're actual trash. But movies like those are able to spawn off into other great projects. That's how we had the War for Cybertron games. That's how we had Transformers Animated, Transformers Prime even, which are beloved and very really regarded as some of the best in the franchise. And if that's what it takes, if we need to have another Skids and Muffin, no, okay, no, I'm not going that far. The point is, he is what the Transformers franchise needs in its darkest hour. We really truly need it, and honestly, I'm here for it. We're back in the 2000s, baby. Let's go. But yeah, no, that's really about it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and yeah, Transformers, roll out.